First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning to you and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. It's Tuesday, March 10th. We're so glad you've decided to join us. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso. Starting out with our forecast today, we had a little bit of a cloudier look, I guess. To start, some locations have started to see some sunshine, though. Big story is warm and quiet weather in the near term. But there's a chance for storms later this week.
Okay, we'll take that. I did get caught in a bit of a drizzle on the way to work today.
Yeah, there are a couple of very small showers going on right now, and you can kind of get that idea from these live cameras. Our Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network showing you the views. And one thing you notice that our Orange Beach cameras in the clouds. Our Battleship Memorial Park camera, 78 degrees there. You can actually see blue sky and puffy cumulus clouds there. DI revealed there's been some rain showers in Jackson County as well. I've seen that on the radar. And we are keeping an eye on the overcast conditions there. So it really depends on where you are. Hampton Inn right now. This is in Daphne looking towards the Bayway. 77 degrees with a south wind at 7 miles per hour. This is Battleship Memorial Park, and it looks like blue sky in some spots there, but not a bad look here. 78 degrees south-southeast wind at 10 miles per hour. That observation's from the airport nearby. Then looking elsewhere across the area, you'll see down at Dauphin Island. This is at the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. Maybe a little bit of fog over the water, but a nice view here with the southerly wind. Over the next few hours, you'll see your temperatures staying in the 70s with mostly cloudy conditions. This afternoon, it's going to be a warm afternoon with temperatures getting all the way up into the middle 80s in our inland spots. Temperatures in the 70s close to the coast. 77 degrees in Fairhope, 73 in Destin, 77 Navarre, 80 in Crestview, 84 Evergreen, 83 in Monroeville, and 83 in Grove Hill. Overnight tonight to tomorrow morning, another mild night for the Gulf Coast with temperatures staying in the 60s, 65 Crestview, 67 Mobile, 67 in Pascagoula. Tomorrow, a quiet day on our Wednesday with temperatures very warm in the 80s here. But Wednesday night, things start to change. So going in kind of chronological order here. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we're going to get a line of thunderstorms to push through. This could contain some gusty winds. The threat is not substantially high, but there is a chance for some stronger thunderstorms. One thing that we will take away from this with our storms Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it is a healthy amount of rain, around an inch of rain, something we could really use there. Now looking ahead, cooler air arrives to the Gulf Coast by the end of this week. We're talking how cold could we see 30s in our forecast. I'll have the details coming up.
Nick, thank you. And first today, Fox 10 is confirming 2 Monroe County Courthouse employees are among 3 people indicted on voter fraud charges. 46-year-old Samantha Kiles is a judicial assistant for Judge Donna Silcox, and 59-year-old Sarah Bennett was a security guard at the courthouse. Along with Kiles and Bennett, 67-year-old Sharon Denson was also indicted. Court records show the 3 women filled out a total of 20 illegal absentee ballots in the Frisco City municipal election last August. They're charged with unlawful use of absentee ballots and submitting false absentee ballot applications. We have a full statement from Kyle's attorney on our website. That's fox10tv.com. And Mississippians will head to the polls today to vote in Republican and Democratic primaries. One of the big races to watch is for the U.S. Senate seat held by Republican Cindy Hyde-Smith, who faces a primary challenge from political newcomer Sarah Adlaka. On the Democratic side, Mississippi District Attorney Scott Colum, Albert Little, and Priscilla Till, a cousin of Emmett Till, are vying for their party's nomination for that Senate seat. And another key race is in the 2nd Congressional District. Democratic incumbent Benny Thompson faces primary challengers Evan Turnage, a former staffer for top Democrats in the U.S. Senate, and newcomer Pertis Williams. And meanwhile, almost 20 candidates are vying for Marjorie Taylor Greene's old House seat. She retired from the chamber in January after a feud with President Donald Trump. Today's special election is in a GOP-heavy district in northern Georgia. Republican Air Force veteran Clay Fuller has the president's endorsement, and other candidates are also claiming the MAGA title and loyalty to the White House. A top Democrat might be retired Marine Sean Harris, who took on Greene in 2024. But if no candidate wins the majority, there will be a runoff election held next month. And new today, the mother of a missing Alabama toddler is now charged with capital murder and abuse of a corpse. Adrienne Reed was already facing charges for making false statements to officers when reporting her daughter missing from their home on February 16th, more than a month after the alleged murder. Enterprise police say they found new evidence showing Reed walking to an apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag around 11:30 on Christmas night. They say 2 days later, footage shows Adrienne returning to the same dumpster with toys and other belongings of Genesis's.
We have reached a heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Genesis and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster.
Coffee County District Attorney James Talbach says Reed will appear in court on the new felony charges later this week. He says his office also plans to seek the death penalty. Authorities say so far Genesis's body has not been found, but several agencies will be conducting a massive search of the Coffee County landfill where her remains could be. Well, it's day 2 of the trial for the man charged with the kidnapping and killing of Anaya Blanchard, and it's underway right now. Ibrahim Yazid faces 3 capital murder charges in her 2019 death. He's also charged with kidnapping, robbery, and murder in a vehicle. Blanchard's body was found in the woods a month after she was last seen at an Auburn gas station. And security video presented to the jury showed the two in the store at the same time, then departing in the same vehicle. In the trial, opening statements were delivered, followed by testimony from 10 witnesses. If convicted, Yazid could face the death penalty or life in prison without the possibility of parole. Well, the U.S. military striking more than 5,000 targets so far in Iran, deeply affecting Iran's ability to fight back. But still, the Pentagon says they focus on destroying Iran's nuclear capabilities continues. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the story now from Washington.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth says the U.S. is determined not to fight an endless war and that the Pentagon has the firepower to get the job done. The U.S. is still focusing on dismantling Iran's ballistic missile program, destroying their Navy and industrial bases.
Today will be yet again our most intense day of strikes inside Iran. The most fighters, the most bombers, the most strikes.
President Trump says the U.S. is accomplishing its goals faster than predicted. But keeping oil tankers moving through the Strait of Hormuz is a top priority. The president threatening to hit Iran 20 times harder if they stop it.
They better not play that game. The Strait of Hormuz is going to remain safe.
Meanwhile, questions remain over a strike on a girls' school in Iran that killed more than 150 people, many of them children. And while the Pentagon is still investigating, early reports blame an errant U.S. missile. Secretary Hegseth says the U.S. does more than any other nation to avoid targeting civilians.
That's how terrorist regimes fight. They target civilians. We do not.
I think the department is investigating it now, and I'm sorry. I'm just so sorry it happened. But it was a mistake.
And despite the U.S. progress, still no end to the fighting. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, says Iran is adapting as the war rages on, but notes the U.S. is adapting faster. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And a small memorial goes up in Tel Aviv to honor the U.S. soldiers killed in the U.S. and Israel's war against Iran. Some city residents stopped to lay flowers at the memorial site there. The 6 soldiers, members of the Army Reserve, died in a drone strike at a command center in Kuwait. They were all a part of the Army Reserve and worked in logistics and kept troops supplied with equipment and food. Last month, the Supreme Court struck down President Trump's most widely used tariff tool, and now the race is on for refunds. But it's not just big companies like Walmart and Amazon looking to get their money back. Millions of individual consumers are now asking the Treasury to reimburse them for tariffs on items worth $800 or less. But that's easier said than done because the Treasury Department hasn't said just how much of the tariff revenue it's collected was covered by the court ruling, now leaving customers to seek refunds directly from businesses.
They pass those costs on to consumers. Are consumers going to get anything out of this? Because we all bore some of the cost of the tariffs.
And there's already at least one class action lawsuit underway. FedEx customers are suing the company for tariff refunds. And on Monday, another lawsuit was filed, this one aimed at stopping the White House from imposing a 10% global tariff. But President Trump is pushing back, saying those tariffs are a big part of his foreign policy strategy. Some companies like UPS and FedEx say they'll refund customers only after they get reimbursed by the feds. It's 11:09 now, still to come right here on Fox 10 Midday. The third annual Dumbwaiter Invitational is wrapping up soon. Plus,
security lines are still building across the country as the DHS shutdown drags on. I'm Madison Scarpino in Atlanta. I'll have that story coming up.
And in your catnap forecast for today, a little overcast in some locations, so you might want to take a little nap this afternoon. Temperatures will be in the 70s. This is Billy, submitted by Carl. Thank you so much for submitting this one. See, Billy's in the hut there, chilling out. We love your catnap forecast. If you want to send in your cats on the catnap forecast, please do so on the Fox 10 weather app. We need more photos, so please send them in. Thank you for submitting here, Carl. We'll have more.
welcome back into Fox 10 Midday. New on the show, Mobile police arresting a juvenile in connection back to a shooting back on February 21st. Now, the shooting happened during the Terrace Motorcade Parade. Mobile police tell us the teen was arrested Monday and charged with 2 counts of shooting into an unoccupied vehicle and 7 counts of reckless endangerment. Investigators say a second person was acting in self-defense and no charges will be filed. 2 vehicles were shot at with no one inside. Well, the spring break travel season is getting underway with millions of passengers expected to fly over the next 2 months. But the Homeland Security shutdown pushing wait times at security checkpoints past the 3-hour mark. Fox News correspondent Madison Scarpino has more.
Didn't expect the ridiculousness of how big this line is.
Long lines were already forming at Houston's Hobby Airport Tuesday morning, where staffing shortages are delaying security screenings. Yesterday, wait times there topped 3 hours as the DHS shutdown stretches into spring break.
Travel plans are getting delayed or canceled, and so you have children involved, which is very tough.
Other hubs like here in Atlanta and New Orleans saw wait times of more than an hour on Monday. With TSA workers set to miss their first paychecks this week, the agency warns disruptions could expand to more airports.
World Cup coming this summer, we're going to see record numbers of travel. That is a huge economic win for this country that we're not going to be able to achieve.
DHS funding lapsed in February during a stalemate among lawmakers. The agency is blaming Democrats who are calling for changes to immigration enforcement.
Let's confine the ICE and CBP reform discussion just to those 2 agencies and fund the others. Thus far, Republicans have blocked those efforts.
With the House now out for the week, the Senate won't be able to advance any funding legislation, meaning this shutdown could go on for some time. Republicans argue the American people are paying the price.
This is just the height of stupidity by the Democrats. It's essentially a temper tantrum because they don't like President Trump.
And time is of the essence, with a record 171 million passengers expected to fly this spring. In Atlanta, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Osprey Cam near Wolf Bay. Look at that. Ain't that a cool shot? And you can even see a boat off in the distance in the bay. This is, of course, an Eagle Tower. These are the coolest things to get built, and whenever they get used, you put a camera on it. It's really, really nice view there. We always like taking a peek at this camera on a nice day like today. The weather forecast is good in the near term. Your weather headlines show a quiet forecast through Wednesday with no major weather issues. The fog potential a little lower overnight, but it's something we'll keep an eye on just in case. Very warm temperatures in the afternoon, slightest chance of a rain shower. However, storms come into the picture Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Some of these thunderstorms could be strong. Then after that line of thunderstorms passes, we clear very quickly through the afternoon and evening on Thursday, and cooler weather pulls in for the end of this week. This afternoon, not cool, warm, very warm, in fact, with temperatures near 80 degrees. Some folks in the middle 80s, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Rain chances relatively low. Your afternoon temperatures in the middle 80s, inland 83 in Grove Hill, but 84 in Chatham, 84 in Leakesville, 82 in Mobile, 77 in Pensacola, 77 in Gulf Shores. Overnight tonight, potential for some patchy fog, but the potential maybe not as high. We do have a little more wind in the picture. 67 degrees in Mobile, 68 in Pensacola, 65 Evergreen, 65 Monroeville. Then for your Wednesday afternoon temperatures, very warm. Wednesday will still be a quiet day. Temperatures here in the middle 80s inland, upper 70s at the immediate coast. Speaking of the immediate coast, we have to talk about this beach forecast. I understand that many folks are on spring break and you might want to go down to the beach. First of all, water temperatures are still cool, generally in the upper 60s. And we have a moderate risk of rip currents for Wednesday. Thursday, though, red alert. We have a high risk of rip currents. You probably do not want to get in the water at that point. So this is your storm tracker alert. Just don't get in the water on Thursday. And also the wind's going to be picking up out of the north by the end of the day on Thursday. So it's just kind of going to be a more uncomfortable feel as you get down at the beach. Temperatures a little cooler. Reminder about the beach flags as well. As surf goes up, you might see red flags or even double red flags if the surf gets rough enough. And double red flags does mean the waters are closed. Also been noting some purple flags down at the beaches. Be careful with the jellyfish. Let's talk about our futurecast. The next 48 hours with our graph model. Temperatures warm this afternoon with generally quiet conditions. Then overnight tonight, we could see some low cloud cover or maybe some fog development, but we do have a stronger southerly wind. Temperatures in the 60s. Then on Wednesday, a partly to mostly cloudy day with a slight chance of rain showers. Temperatures in the 80s in the afternoon with upper 70s at the coast. By Wednesday night, we're starting to track some rain showers off to our west, some thunderstorms as well. Could see strong thunderstorms rolling in here in the overnight hours into the pre-dawn hours on Thursday. Thursday morning, you see this line of thunderstorms here. This is a squall line. Could produce some gusty winds, some heavy rain, some frequent lightning. Isolated tornado threat. It's not zero, so something we'll keep an eye on. But our severe weather risk overall as this line passes is not substantially high. It is a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk. This exits quickly by Thursday morning, and by the end of our morning shows on Thursday, we're going to be talking about mostly sunny conditions across our area with cooler air blasting in here. Strong winds at the end of the day on Thursday and temperatures much cooler. Rainfall over the next 7 days around an inch. Then after this, the colder air comes in. You see temperatures in the 60s for highs Thursday, 70s for highs on Friday. A very comfortable weekend. Then another shot of cooler air comes into the picture. Highs in the 50s and 60s early next week, with morning temperatures dropping all the way down into the 30s. So 2 shots of cooler air coming in your forecast over the next 7 to 10 days. Here's your 7-day outlook. Remember, Thursday morning rain chance. The end of the day on Thursday is mainly sunny, so don't get deceived by that thunderstorm icon. Then mostly sunny for Friday and Saturday. Another system passes through Sunday night, leading to some very chilly air for early next week.
Thanks, Nick. The Dumbwaiter Invitational wrapping up today at the Steelwood Country Club in Loxley. The yearly tournament featured the best high school golfers from all across the region. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more on this competition.
It's year 3 for the Dumbwaiter Invitational, and once again, athletes show their skills in Loxley. You won't find better competition anywhere else.
This field is very, very good. Some of the best teams in the state of Alabama and Louisiana and Georgia are all here. And I mean, these guys I think there's 20 kids that are committed to play college golf in the next 2 years. Either they're seniors or juniors. And then there's some freshmen there's a freshman from Athens who's probably as good as anybody around.
And there's something about this course that brings the best out of these athletes. It was designed back in 1976 by U.S. Open champion Jerry Pate, and these golfers couldn't wait to be back out here. And as the tournament wraps up, this was a great learning experience for the younger athletes.
I just hope they learn how to compete. That's the number one thing, how to compete, how to do it correctly, how to understand that a lot of the younger guys are not as, they're 14 years old, they're 13 years old, and they're playing against guys that are 18. The 18-year-old is stronger. He's going to hit the ball further most of the time. Hopefully they'll learn how to just not get frustrated, hang in there, keep working, and good things will happen as they get a little older.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
So much fun out there. I love it. It's 11:22 now. Coming up, the popular weight loss drug GLP-1 is impacting much more than the human body. How it could also be transforming the economy, straight ahead when Fox 10 Midday returns. Welcome back. More transformational than the smartphone. That's how some describe the potential of GLP-1 drugs. Used by millions, popular brands of these medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Zepbound are approved to treat diabetes and obesity. But a recent analysis found their impacts may go well beyond changing health outcomes. They could be changing the broader consumer economy. Michael Yoshida breaks it all down.
Here we got a vaca frita.
Cuban classics with a twist.
Similar ingredients, different portion.
Inside the kitchen at Cuba Libre, Chef Angel Roca preparing meals for a GLP-1 specific menu.
Keeping a good amount of protein, 25 to 30 grams per portion. Reduce by 40% the rice and beans and adding some fiber.
Special selections that launched last year after co-founder Barry Guten spoke with customers and friends who were on the popular weight loss drugs.
They each told me a story about how hard it is to order in a restaurant, how they have to order, how they have to eat, and we learned a lot that day.
It's not just the food industry adapting to meet the needs of customers turning to these medications.
There's also ripple effects on many other categories of spend that these drugs are causing. This is one of the most significant consumer adoption trends we have seen in a really long time.
A recent PwC analysis found GLP-1s are changing consumer behavior. How people eat, shop, work out, travel, even perceive themselves and make decisions is being reshaped.
They're thinking about health and wellness for their whole household differently after they go on the drug, and they're purchasing differently for everyone in the household.
PwC's Ali Furman says these ripple effects across industries will only grow as these medications become more accessible.
We're just starting to see the full breadth of implications that these weight loss drugs could have on consumption, consumer spending, and just overall society.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Well, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration said it will not approve the prescription drug Leucovorin as a treatment for autism. During a White House briefing last fall, officials suggested Leucovorin could help thousands of children with autism. But FDA officials now say the available evidence does not show the drug works for autism more broadly. Asked whether the agency would study that possibility further, officials said the FDA typically does not fund large trials for autism. Officials added there might be other federal efforts underway to support that research. 11:27, thanks for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday. Coming up, a popular gas station company is trading in the Garden State for the Lone Star State. Plus, how long have you had your phone? In today's Did You Know, we are breaking down the reason why people are buying used phones instead of brand new ones. But before we go, let's check in with Nick at the Weather Center.
Yeah, and we're looking down at the beach where you can't see anything. We have some low clouds down there that leading to some visibility issues from our top camera here. That is, of course, on top of Turquoise Place, the Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. But a reminder down at the beach that we do have a high-risk rip currents later this week, moderate risk tomorrow. Temperatures today not bad. Reminder for those beach flags there, though. Pay attention to them if you head down to the beach.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
And it's time for your half-hour headlines on this Tuesday. First, a man accused of entering a residence hall and threatening two students at the University of South Alabama has pleaded not guilty. King Diamond, who is not affiliated, is facing several charges, including first-degree burglary, unlawful imprisonment, menacing, and illegal possession of a firearm. The judge also ordered Diamond not to have any contact with the victims or the University of South Alabama. He does have a preliminary hearing set for next month. Stay with Fox 10 News for updates in this case. Well, affordable housing is hard to find for many seniors on fixed incomes all around the world, and city leaders are celebrating a new development they say will help fill that gap. Live Oak Trace, a nearly $20 million affordable housing community, is now available for residents 55 and older. The development, located in West Mobile, includes 56 two-bedroom, two-bathroom apartments. Right now, final inspections are underway and leasing will open soon. For more information on how to apply there, you can visit fox10tv.com. And finally, also grabbing headlines on the Gulf Coast, Margaritaville Resort is taking shape in Orange Beach. This resort is bringing more than $350 million in development, hundreds of jobs, and a whole lot of Jimmy Buffett vibes. It will feature around 300 units and about 650 bedrooms across condos, resort cottages, and waterfront villas. It will also feature multiple restaurants as well as massive amenity decks with pools, water slides, even a lazy river. The first restaurant is expected to open in May, with the full resort rolling out in phases through late 2027. Exciting news for us here on the Gulf Coast. Well, in the business world now, another corporation is moving to Texas. Small biz optimism is holding up. The Middle East conflict could mean higher costs for Lego. And one candy maker says users of weight loss meds are consuming more chocolate. Fox's CJ Papa has those stories and more in today's Fox Business Briefs.
ExxonMobil says it will move its legal home from New Jersey to Texas. CEO Darren Woods tells the Wall Street Journal the company is looking to protect itself from shareholder abuse. Exxon's operating HQ has been in Houston since 1989, and Woods says he believes Texas better understands the oil and gas industry. Small business optimism held up last month. The National Federation of Independent Business Optimism Index declined 0.5 point, but remained better than the average at 98.8. Small businesses say they saw high sales and increased profits, though they also say they're seeing competition from large businesses. Lego says higher energy and raw material costs could be coming because of the conflict in the Middle East. CEO Niels Christensen says Lego's impact could be gradual and cushioned by its existing deals for plastics and other raw materials. And Swiss candy maker Lindt says users of weight loss medications are consuming more chocolate, not less. Lindt says sales are rising faster among users of GLP-1 weight loss drugs than the rest of the population. The research is based on an internal study. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Camera, that's funny. Camera from Destin there. You can't tell where that is. I honestly, I really couldn't tell you. Now, this is a lower-ish camera, so the fact that we do still have fog and low clouds there, something to note. But remember, this camera here in Destin is almost on the water. I mean, it practically is. And it's those areas over water that are still dealing with some foggy conditions. This is Orange Beach right now from our Eastern Shore Toyota camera network. Can't see anything out there. Understand that this camera is on top of Turquoise Place, so if you get under the clouds, you can actually see. You can drive around. It's not that bad. But you see the mostly cloudy conditions will continue, kind of foggy conditions here over the next few hours. Do want to mention this beach forecast as we go into Thursday. Remember, Thursday morning, we're going to see some showers and thunderstorms passing through. Then after that, we clear up very, very, very quickly Thursday afternoon, evening. But the winds crank out of the north, and that'll boost our rip current risk. And I think the rip current risk, even before the storms arrive into Wednesday night, is going to be pretty rough. And so we have a high risk of rip currents in place for Thursday. Other cameras on the Eastern Shore Toyota camera network, a nice clearing happening now over Mobile. Very nice views here. This is Battleship Memorial Park, and you can see the bluer sky out there. Temperatures sitting in the upper 70s right now, close to 80 degrees, 76 degrees in Mobile. This afternoon, your temperatures get up into the 80s a little bit. You can get to 83 degrees in places like Mount Vernon, Citronelle, 82 in Mobile, 80 Magnolia Springs, 76 in Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, 74 Dauphin Island, Codan at 77 and Grand Bay at 79 degrees this afternoon. Hopping over to our Mississippi counties, 84 degrees in Leakesville, 84 McLean, 78 in Pascagoula. Hopping inland here, inland temperatures will be warm today in the middle 80s, really, really warm. And then you can see closer to the coast, upper 70s, middle 70s, 75 degrees in Pensacola. Temperatures in the 80s north of Interstate 10. Let's walk you through Futurecast. If you have plans through Wednesday, outdoor plans, I think they're pretty okay. I don't expect very many issues here. Tonight, I mentioned that there is some wind, so fog might be a little bit more localized, but there is still the potential for some dense fog, so we're watching that very closely. Then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, partly cloudy skies and a nice strong southerly flow, isolated rain shower cannot be ruled out. Wednesday night, we watch thunderstorms off to our west. They push in here in the form of a squall line. The thunderstorms may contain gusty winds, maybe some small hail. and we cannot rule out an isolated tornado, but the risk, understand, is really quite low for our area. So the higher risk for severe weather is just off to our northwest. Still, we'll keep an eye on things as this pushes through. We deal with this kind of stuff all the time, so no big deal. After this thing passes, we'll see much clearer skies moving in very quickly behind the line, and also some cooler air. And the cooler air is the big story. By 7 o'clock on Thursday, strong northerly wind, dry, and temperatures dropping fast. Friday morning is going to be quite crisp. Severe weather outlook, again, a marginal risk has been placed for our area. We'll keep an eye on that forecast for you. We'll be here tracking it all on Thursday morning, so be sure to tune in. Then Friday and Saturday morning, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. That is quite cool. And we have another cold shot that comes Sunday into Monday, making our temperatures early next week quite a bit below average. We'll go to the 10-day outlook so you can see it there. 59 for a high on Tuesday, so a nice refreshing feel for the end of this week and early next week.
All right, Nick, looking forward to it. Thank you. Alabama is cracking down on deadly DUI and hit-and-run crashes with a new law designed to bring stiffer penalties in these cases. Morning anchor Sarah Wall is taking a look at the new law, what local officials are saying, and the inspirations behind the change. In depth with Sarah Wall, Safe Streets Law is available for you now on the Fox 10 Gulfstream TV app. Well, how long have you had your phone? According to new data, consumers aren't upgrading as often as they used to. Susan Campbell found out a growing number of people are choosing pre-owned devices. Let's listen in.
There are a lot of reasons that people are keeping their phones longer. Phones cost more, payments are often spread out now to 3 years instead of 2, and for a lot of people, the technology upgrades may not seem that significant.
People aren't upgrading their phones like they used to.
But the fact that they're A, really expensive, and B, they're really resilient now, folks are just hanging on to them for much longer than ever before, really like over 3 years now.
It's a big shift, and companies know consumers are looking for affordability. This week, Apple unveiled the iPhone 17e priced at $599. And a recent report shows 11% of consumers now own a pre-owned phone. Sean Cleland is the vice president of mobile for B-Stock, a business-to-business resale platform. He says the demand for used phones will continue to grow.
Folks are going to look at that market as a, gosh, a new phone's really expensive, but I can get one that's 1 generation, 2 generations old for $300, $400 off, and it's fully tested. That's going to be much more compelling when the supply is expensive and tight.
So if a pre-owned phone is in your future, here's how to be a smart shopper.
If you want really high trust, you can go straight to the manufacturer and get something that is certified from them. If you want to get a deal, you could still go to those consumer-to-consumer markets, but you don't know necessarily what you're getting. So my best advice is do the research, read, and the same platforms that you would kind of trust for anything you would buy, the pre-owns there are great, and there's great customer service.
According to B-Stock data, devices that are 5 generations old or older make up 19% of the pre-owned smartphone supply. I'm Susan Campbell.
Thanks for staying with us here on Fox 10 Midday on this Tuesday. Straight ahead, Starbucks has a brand new rewards program that we're taking a look at. Plus, how does a ranch milkshake sound? Well, where you can try this treat and what it's mixed in with is coming up in your Midday Talkers after the break. Welcome back. Starbucks just revamped its rewards program.
And it unveils a new tiered system for customers today.
So the 3 new levels are Green, Gold, and Reserve.
The coffee chain says their new special thing has perks, including birthday treats, a free personalized Reserve card, and some other bonuses.
Starbucks says it believes the revamp will give customers better value.
Customers will be notified of their tier status through email and the Starbucks app.
Oh, what's happening?
I don't even know if I still have the Starbucks app downloaded.
Nick just grabbed his phone to see if he has it. I do not personally have the Starbucks app downloaded. I don't go enough to have the rewards.
I'm not logged in, apparently.
Oh, no, you need to log in now.
I'm going to be honest, Starbucks rewards confuses me.
Really? Just the old system?
They have like you know when you get a gift card for Starbucks,
Right.
It's like a reloadable thing, and I know Joe and Chelsea were talking about this during Studio 10, how they have like a reloadable, like
Like
you
a
can
gift card
put
kind of?
money on your account.
That's interesting.
I don't get it, anyways.
Well, maybe you should download it again and see if the new
Well, I
system
have it.
is
I don't
better.
know. I just gonna log
Maybe
in.
you can be the reserve level. That means
Yeah,
you have to go
that's
every day,
fancy.
and you have to get me something to get more points.
I will not be doing that.
Free
You want to
coffee.
see me with coffee?
Free coffee. I actually don't. That's scary.
That's risky.
Today is National Mario Day.
March 10th recognizes the popular video game character because it was written at Mar 10.
Oh.
Resembles the name Mario.
I did not know that.
That's why it's March 10th?
That's cool, yeah. Nintendo uses the day to hold sales, specifically in the Nintendo eShop, announce games, and celebrate the franchise.
Nintendo officially embraced the unofficial holiday in 2016.
More than 210 million copies of the Mario game series have been sold, ranking Mario as one of the most popular video games of all time. Big Mario fan here. I love to challenge anyone to a Mario Kart tournament. We used to have bracket-style Mario Kart tournaments in my house growing up. We were really serious.
I never really. I played Mario Kart before many a time, but I haven't done it like a lot. But it sounds fun.
I could beat you for sure. My favorite character was not Mario, although he's a good one, Princess Peach.
I had a feeling.
Always. Well, is it a dessert or is it a dip?
Great Wolf Lodge has announced a limited time ranch milkshake.
Wow. The shake is blended with vanilla ice cream and ranch dressing, and it comes garnished with crispy chicken, carrots, celery, whipped cream, and a sweet and salty lime rim. Wow.
Sweet and tangy edition is available at the Water Park Resort until May 20th.
It is listed at $7.99, so
the closest Great Wolf Lodge to us is in Columbus, Georgia. I don't think I will be going to Columbus, Georgia anytime soon to get that.
Here's the thing. Initial thoughts, it looks a little gross, but also I wonder if there's a good enough blend of sweet and savory, like it said, to be decent.
Maybe. I will not.
I'll just take the chicken nugget off. That's the part.
Yeah, no, I would
off the
say
top
like
there.
if you did this kind of as like a dip for chicken fingers, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I've dipped my fries in ice cream, and I tried chicken fingers dipped in ice cream. It wasn't horrible, but I would never drink that as. You really have to like ranch to enjoy that.
That's a stretch.
That's wild. Should we do that for Tasty Tuesday?
No.
We're not going to be doing that today. A museum in England just received a coin that is more than 2,000 years old.
But it wasn't discovered during a recent archaeological dig.
77-year-old Peter Edwards has actually had it since the 1950s.
He says he got it from his grandfather, who counted money for Leeds City Transport.
Edwards says someone used it to pay for their bus fare.
The coin dates back to the Phoenician city of Cadiz in Spain, and it's from the 1st century BC.
So one side of the coin there has the face of a Greek god wearing a lion skin headdress.
That's because some Phoenician currency in those days featured Greek imagery to make them more appealing to traders.
It's a pretty coin. The coin will stay at the Leeds Discovery Center. Can you imagine?
That is old.
Wow.
That is so old.
I wonder how much it's actually worth, though.
I don't know.
I mean, that would cover your bus fare for years.
Yes.
I feel like you'd never have to
the
pay it
fact that
again.
it was used, it's kind of like you find like random coins. If you've done traveling before and you've collected, if you've gotten coins from other countries, you go throw them in your stash. Next thing you're like, oh, that's a coin from.
That makes me want to go check my small coin stash that I have, scrounge around the car, see if I have anything.
You never know what you're going to find. All right, it's 11:50 now. Let's get a look outside from Dauphin Island. You can see some fog off in the distance there. We're talking about potential maybe for some patchy dense fog overnight tonight, but warm temperatures. We'll have a look at that forecast with the potential for some thunderstorms on Thursday morning. All the details coming up.
Welcome back. A bright and reportedly loud flashing streak across the sky had thousands looking up and some even ducking for cover when debris reportedly rained down from what experts believe was a meteor bursting into flames. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Eyes were on the skies across parts of Western Europe after a bright flashing fireball was seen and reportedly heard tearing across the evening sky. According to the International Meteor Organization, more than 2,800 sightings were reported in places like Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, with dozens of videos of the surreal event uploaded and shared. According to the German news outlet RTL, some eyewitnesses claimed they heard enormous bangs as the event unfolded, and there were reports of at least one house damaged by falling debris, but no injuries were reported. Officials with the European Space Agency believe the fireball was likely a meteor and are using available data to determine its size, which they estimate may only have been a few meters in diameter. Well, it was no streaking celestial event, but wide-eyed witnesses were mesmerized nonetheless by the dizzying promotional prowess of the competitors of the 19th Annual Sign Spinning Championships in Las Vegas. Normally spotted hawking the wares of local businesses from street corners, these skilled performers from the U.S. and beyond took center stage on Fremont Street to twirl, whirl, flip, and flop in what organizers call the ultimate competition, where sports and advertising come together. Finally, in the spirit of competition, a relic from the very first modern Olympic Games recently nabbed a hefty winning price at auction. According to the Brun Rasmussen Arts Auctioneers, this silver medal from the 1896 Olympic Games was sold at auction for roughly $179,000. The 1896 event in Athens, Greece introduced the modern Olympics era, and silver medals like this one were awarded for first place back then, with gold medals being introduced in 1904. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
I like the advertising sign competition where they were...
I would poke my eye out.
I was actually one of those, what are those inflatable things that stand by the side of the road and do that? I was one of those for Halloween in high school, and that was like my best costume.
Hey.
I just went around just...
Gosh, that would be annoying. Let's look at the forecast here.
I won best costume. Shut up.
Oh, this is our Eastern Toyota Camera Network right now. Traffic flowing smoothly. The shake on the camera, though, is from the wind out of the south. Pretty decent there. Partly to mostly cloudy conditions continue. Temperatures soaring all the way up to almost 80 degrees there in Mobile. Here's another view from downtown. That's on Government Street looking towards the Bankhead Tunnel. Nice to see the sunshine out. So, Futurecast. Here we go. Take your notes for whatever plans you have. Tomorrow morning, some patchy dense fog is a possibility. Then as we go into the afternoon, it'll be a partly sunny day, very, very, very similar to today. Then we end the day with rain showers and thunderstorms off to our west, but they're not here yet. So we'll call it quiet for the full day period on Wednesday. Wednesday night, though, line of thunderstorms off to our west, and it moves in here in the pre-dawn hours on Thursday. So have ways to receive weather warnings in case any are issued. Understand, though, that this is a very low-end severe weather threat, but still some thunderstorms could produce gusty winds, so we'll keep an eye on it. And then the end of the day on Thursday is stellar with sunny skies and cooler temperatures. Severe weather outlook again. There's that marginal risk of severe weather in place. After it gets cooler, a couple cold shots here Friday and Monday. Friday 73, 63 on Monday.
What a roller coaster I could not be more excited for the cooler temperatures, though. We'll take it. So get through these next couple of days of warm weather. We'll be back with Fox 10 Live at 3 in just a few hours.